Welcome to Bonney Bags. My name is Uni. The bag I have made today is Lady Mary Killigrew, named after an English pirate. She was a lady. When her husband was out at sea, she had her own pirate ship and she took the staff at her castle with her and they went pirating. The bag looks like this, in black and beige. The back is like that. It has a recessed zipper. It has two slip pockets. It has a zipper pocket inside the lining, waterproof. This is waterproof canvas lining. Of course, there's a pocket in the front and a pocket in the back. It has purse feet. And it's a pretty fun bag to make. I made two different designs on these strap connectors. One looks like a drop and the other looks like this with a strap that goes across. If you want, you can also use some pre-made strap connectors. Like for instance this one. It comes from, this one is, these are metal. And this little metal in the middle here is you're supposed to dress it with fabric, cover it with fabric, but I just painted it. The vinyl was too thick to cover this square. So I made it like that, gunmetal colored strap connector. Here we have antique gold strap connector, and I painted that a little beige. This was the only beige color I found at the store. And then you have the last one, that's the silver or nickel, regular nickel. Sally Tomato sell these. The video for this bag is a little long, so I've divided it into 4 parts. So you don't need to wear yourself out washing everything in one go. So let's get started on the cutting of the pattern and the fabric. First thing you have to do when you print the pattern is test this square here. You have to make sure it is 2 by 2 inches. We have to test to see if it's 2 inches. So that looks good. My printer seems to always scale it down to 97%. So every time I print something, I have to put the printer to 100%. So you need to check your printer too when you do the printout. So on the pattern, I have used this color coding. That's a color for each fabric. This is the main fabric. This is the secondary fabric. This is the lining. And this is a special lining I'm using for the design panels. And this is the interfacing, the rubber foam. So we cut all these pieces out. What we have to do is, I'll show you something else first. With the pattern comes this cutting plan. Here is a bunch of numbers. They correspond with the numbers of the pattern. Number 3, number 11. It says what it is. Top zipper panel, number 11, top zipper panel there. So, and here are the colors again. Main fabric, secondary lining, interfacing. So, and then there's a cutting plan part 2. Shows you how many yards you need of each fabric and how long you should cut the zippers or buy zippers. And then with the hardware that you're going to need, like here you're going to need double cap rivets but not if you buy but only if you make it like we do it now with our own strap connectors. Then you need the metal for the strap connectors. Then you need the cord that we use inside of the handles, the straps, and then you need the purse feet. So it's all there. You can just read that and then order online so you get everything the same color. Yeah, so all the pattern pieces has to be. See, wherever it says fabric fold, that means you have to cut another pattern piece. It's well worth doing it. So the other pattern piece doesn't have to have print. It can be just a regular piece of paper. We can actually be a little smart and we can cut it double. I'll just fasten it with a couple of pins so I'm sure it doesn't slide. Then we cut 2 at the same time, which saves us time, of course. So, but what we do here, where it says fabric fold, cut a little lip so to make it easier for us to tape it. But we need the lip only on one part, only on the top part where we see the line. There. The bottom part we can cut off. So now we have that. If the pattern is straight, follow the lines on your cutting mat, if you have one. That makes life a little easier. And when you have placed it, it's nice to use some weights. Now, I don't have anything better than this weight, that I finally get to use that. And that will hold them a little in place while I put the tape on, because they have a tendency to slide away a little. This will help. So this is what you do on all the pattern parts that say they have fabric fold. I'm going to do that on everything, but first I'm going to just show you one little thing. Here are the strap connectors. I'm giving you 2 alternatives. Alternative 1 looks like this. Alternative 2 looked like that, like a drop. So that's that. Alternative 1 there has a little strap across here with rivets on each side, so that's pretty fun. In real life, well, this is a sample I sewed just very quickly. In real life, it looks like this. So see a little strap there. And then there's one more thing I want to say about the strap connectors here. It's not fun to make this in normal fabric. It's not going to look very pretty. So it's really good to use vinyl or cork or something on that. And then when we cut that, if you use vinyl or cork, you don't need the seam allowance. So just cut that without the seam allowance. We will have a raw edge there, but we're going to do as good as we can to make it look pretty still. And what's happening when we do this with raw edges, the vinyl normally is not, or the cork is not thick enough. So what we'll do is we cut them double. We cut them double, and I'll show you exactly how. Because we cut one piece exactly and just one piece approximately, and then when we glue them together with a double-sided tape, then after we've done that, then we cut the other second one just like the first. So here's the bottom part, and we have to make holes for the purse feet. Then we just take a tool like this, or anything that has a possibility to make a hole there, because we need to mark where these purse feet go. The front of the pattern has little markings here. I don't know if you can see little markings here for the design panel, and there is a little marking here for the strap connector. So everything should be here. So what you do is you cut this zipper out. Make sure you fold neatly in the center. And then you can cut this out on a double, because you need this to draw up the zipper, hole for the zipper, because you want to draw that with a pen on the real fabric or on the main fabric. So you do this on the front and the back. And then you do that same thing on the front and the back lining. Here is this is the pocket that starts a little above here when you fasten it. You cut this in six pieces. And then you have the slip pocket that goes here. The front part that you already cut that in, I just want to show you how it goes. Here is the bottom panel, and here is the top panel. So they come there. And then comes the design panel here. The bottom, and then we have the side gusset here that would come in two parts. So we just glue them together. And then we have the inside panel that goes inside the bag. And then we have the shoulder strap. And when you cut it in fabric, you make it 15 inches longer from here. Then you have the tassel. Then we have our little strap connectors with the little strap that goes across there. So now we need to cut the main fabric, which is going to be this cork here. So we only need the main fabric is only on the center panels, the front and the back. And this doesn't really matter if you turn them up and turn it up or down. While I'm at it here, I'll turn this around and I mark, put it right where it's supposed to be, and I mark. Make a line in the center and make those diagonals. Now I make another one. Sometimes it's easier to use the piece you already cut as a pattern because it is a little sturdier than a flimsy little paper. It's amazing how it's actually cork tree. It's cut into such thin layers and then glued onto some kind of backing. I buy my cork from MB Cork in Portugal. If you only want a little bit, you can get cork at Sally Tomato. You can get cork several places, and as you see, if you use the cork for a reasonably large handbag, you don't need a lot of cork if you combine it with vinyl, for instance. I'm drawing this just to remind me that I'm not cutting down there. You just sew around it and then you cut one little slit on the center. So there, now we have the main, this is the main fabric, we're done with that. And for the rest of the bag, I'm going to use this vinyl here. So when you have a long side like this, long straight side already, then it's smart to do the handles. So it says here on the pattern that I have to continue 15 inches from here. So let me measure. Now I got these shoulder straps. Let's move on with the decor panels that goes on a straight line. Make sure the pattern don't move. As you see, I'm cutting two at the same time now. Now we need the lower accent panel. That's also straight on the bottom. Going to hold it with clips. I like to do it with the scissors. If you're really experienced with the roller cutter, you can do that. Okay, so now we got the lower accent panel, both front and back. So I'll get a right and a left if I do like this. The right side against the right side or the wrong side against the wrong side. Now we need the sides and the bottom. There's no grain in the vinyl either, or it's not visible grain. So now I got two of those. That's a side gusset. Now I need one single bottom. Now we have the bottom. Then we have the zipper panel here. There's the zipper panel. Now we have the inside panel, the inside accent panel. And that is actually pretty straight, so it shouldn't be too hard to cut, but we do need two. And the only thing that's left of this accent panel is the tassel. You can cut it as this, you don't have to have it this long if you don't want. If you want the tassel to be cute and little, you just cut it a little shorter. I'll just quickly show you how you cut the tassel with the rotary cutter. It's a little scary, but you stop before you get to the end. See, when you cut, or when I try to cut with the scissor, the lines don't get so straight. All of a sudden one is wriggling a little, and then the tassel looks really homemade. You get the hang of this after a few dozen tassels. They're so fun to have on the bags. Actually, we do take double-sided tape there. We have a little tassel strap here with a little swivel clasp, and then you just roll it like this. It's pretty cool. And then we use a hole punch, and we punch a hole in there. Now remember, the swivel clasp come out here, and there's our little tassel. So the cutting of these little strap connectors, that's without a doubt fine cutting. So we have to be very careful and try and cut a nice smooth. You have to cut an even curve. And that's easiest if you cut in one long go. So we have the strap connectors and we have the backs, which is going to be cut the same way. And then you use the same trick, double-sided tape. Glue it on. But I think this one can be cut more or less the same size. And then we take a permanent marker and we color that black. Well, you can use edge coat if you're that advanced and have bought edge coat that you use on leather. You can use that here, and I do the same here on the sides. You just sew around everywhere here, keeps to the outer edge. Then that comes there, this strap goes there, and 2 rivet goes there. So that's how the straps are going to work. Now we have the lining left. Okay, and the pockets, that's not precision cutting, so we can be a little quick on that. Now I got 6. I need 2 zipper panels. Okay, maybe we could put it. Actually, this canvas actually do have a direction for the fabric, so we might as well get it straight. Yeah, we need the gusset. I have to pay attention a little bit to the direction of the fabric. On this waterproof canvas, you can actually use pins too. Now we come to the rubber foam that we're going to have in the bottom and the side gussets, but we're not going to have a seam on the bottom. We're going to cut it in all in one piece. So let's first mark up where the center is, and then we put the bottom in, mark up without seam allowance. So we can fold up the seam allowance there and on the other side, because we don't need any seam allowance on the rubber foam. This is just for approximate measure. And then we have the side gusset. We're not going to have a seam allowance on the side gusset either. So we can fold that away. And we don't want the seam allowance on the top either. The same on the other side. we can mark up for our purse feet. That will go like this and then strengthen up our bag. If you are making the bag of a cork that is a little soft or vinyl that's soft, then you have to have rubber foam on the front parts as well. Then I would cut the rubber foam the same way as I actually cut the lining, so you have it all the way up and all the way down. I'll cut another fabric I'll use for lining, and it really should be the same color as your accent. We're going to stiffen it up with some interfacing. So I bought this to make a black skirt, but that's not going to happen, clearly. Let's cut this first because that has a straight line. This is a regular fabric, so I can easily put pins in this. The interfacing. All we have left is to put interfacing on the little pieces that we need for the decor panels. I like to use zipper by the yard. I think that's cheaper in the long run. So I need 3 that are 8 inches. From the pocket. And then I need the top one. That is 15 inches. I'll just show you quickly what I do. I cut only like say 3 teeth. You can only cut 2 too, it doesn't matter. That can do this for you. It's important to kind of hold both at the same time. It's a little hard, but there we go. And then I need these strap connector rectangles. They are 1 inch on the inside. Then we need a cord to wrap the handle, the strap around. So I cut them 18 inches. You can have a little thicker cord, but then you need to cut your straps wider. These are pretty thin. So when it comes to the rest of the purse hardware, here is the clasp, the swivel clasp I use for the tassel, to connect the tassel to everything I want, right? Because you open this. So this is sticking out of the tassel. Here are the rivets I use, 9mm the stem, and it's double cap, so that this one here is on the other side and that is on that side. Then you have purse feet. One has a flat bottom and this is totally round. And they come with screws, so they don't fall out easily. And then you have a cheap kind here that you just spread these prongs and that's all. So maybe they will fall out. I'm not sure, I haven't tested them. So that's the hardware. Thank you so much for watching part 1. Hopefully I'll see you in part 2.